The issue begins in the halls of Asgardia. Odin is furious at a terrible crime that has been committed. Somebody has stolen and corrupted Mjolnir, and the king of Asgardians demands to know her identity. On Midgard, the Absorbing Man is in the process of robbing a van full of money, and the new Thor is on the scene to stop him. Creel is unimpressed by this woman and mocks her for not coming up with an original identity. When the Absorbing Man threatens to take on the properties of Mjolnir, the new Thor is able to spin the hammer around the villain, much to Creel's surprise, before the lady is able to break the villain's jaw. But the Absorbing Man is not alone, and his wife Titania demands to know what is going on. Though it seems like the two are about to come to blows, the powerful villain surprisingly chooses to knock her husband out instead. Titania explains that out of respect for a fellow woman, she and her betrothed will be standing down, and even accepting prison. The villain says this is a one-time deal, and next time she'll have Thor's head. So the hero proceeds to knock Titania out. Back on Midgard, Odin has been watching the scene unfold, but he is unable to discern Thor's secret identity. The god is approached by Freya and Odin's son, who ask Odin to leave the matter be. But the ancient god refuses to be told what to do, and rages at his family's disrespect to their king. But the old Thor isn't interested in Odin's problems, and instead wants to know what Kull Borson is doing here. Kull is also known as the Serpent, and though he is Odin's brother, the god of fear is very dangerous, having once killed Odin's son and nearly razed Midgard. But Odin says that his brother has reformed, and he has been forgiven for his actions during the events of fear itself. The king has made the Serpent his new royal inquisitor and minister of justice, in spite of his son's protest, and Odin refuses to hear otherwise. Freya remarks that this does not bode well for anybody, especially the new Thor, and asks her son to warn his female counterpart. But Odin's son has no way of contacting her, as he doesn't know the woman's real identity, and sets to work figuring it out. He goes to Asgardia's royal dining hall and finds Lady Sif. However, she is drinking alone and is depressed at having broken up with Odin's son some time ago, and that Freya's rule over Asgardia is now over. When her former lover asks if Sif has taken on the mantle of Thor, the lady throws a drink in his face and leaves, offended by the question and mad at her old friend. Frustrated, Odin's son begins a list to review the potential people who could have taken on the role of Thor. Only his mother's name is crossed out. Meanwhile, the new Thor has returned to the moon, when she is visited by none other than Freya. The All-Mother isn't interested in learning Thor's secrets, but simply passes a warning to the young woman that Asgardia will soon come for the new Thor, and she needs to be ready. Freya says the young lady will need to not just live up to Mjolnir, but to the name of Thor itself. In response, the new god of thunder swears she will die before dishonoring the name of Thor, a vow Freya hopes she will never have to hold the god to. The queen then asks what it's like to be Thor, thinking it must be unimaginable. With a smirk, the young woman replies that's not even close to what it feels like. Back at the bar, Thor is now drunk and nearly passed out, so his friends the Warriors 3 opt to take him home. Deep in the bowels of Asgardia, Odin remarks that the hammer still eludes every single one of the god's usual methods for gathering information. Kull offers to begin torturing Odin's magicians in order to goad answers out of them, but Odin says there's no need for such extreme measures. The king says he will instead rely on the more traditional means to get Mjolnir back, and activates the legendary Destroyer. Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and this is my recap and review of Thor number 5. I have very mixed feelings about this issue of Thor, to be honest. There were a lot of really interesting things that happened here. Some of the dialogue is very good and very well done, but what really stands out for me is the return of the Serpent, who I haven't really seen since the events of Fear itself. We're told he's reformed, but it's very clear the god of Fear can't be trusted, and this guy is going to be an excellent enemy for the new Thor. I also like this list Thor makes of possible suspects. It'd be cool to see him investigate these people, and this preview of all the potential candidates are really interesting to me. But the more the series keeps dragging things out, the less I care about Thor's identity and what Nick Fury whispered. And that's the problem with this comic. Everything here is exposition and promises of exciting things in the future, with a token fight thrown in that isn't too boring, but not very long either. Nothing of significance happens in this issue aside from announcing the future involvement of a few more interesting figures, and we aren't really any closer to discovering who the new Thor is, aside from it probably not being Sif. We also still have no idea what Nick Fury said to the old Thor that made him lose his hammer in the first place. Personally, I have never found these secrets that tantalizing to begin with, so I really hate just how much they are still teasing these plot points. You can't drag out silly little revelations like this for 5 months and still expect me to give a damn, and it's starting to feel like the series would benefit from some major compression. If anyone were to pick up this issue without reading the first 4, I think they would come out feeling really disappointed and maybe even ripped off. So no, I don't really recommend this issue. It's way too expensive for a comic that isn't that special and seriously lacking in meaningful content. I really do like this series, but it needs to start actually doing things with all its cool ideas before I can start recommending you check this one out for yourself. Let me know if you think I'm being too hard on this comic in the comments section below. We also have a website, Facebook, and Twitter page if you'd like to stay updated on our latest videos. And finally, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.